Okay, so another cool product that TaylorMade are introducing for 2017 is the M1 iron. Now this is a really interesting product for me. This is, one of the most interesting things that I've seen here so far at this launch at the Ibis Country Club, West Palm Beach, Florida. Lanyards all over the place. Dustin Johnson's been here. It's been a really fantastic event. I'm really privileged to be in, and it's been really good time so far. M1 iron has definitely caught my eye, mainly because and this is what TaylorMade is saying, that it's got a lot of the performance benefits of the M2 iron, which was actually the best-selling iron in America last year. It's really popular, with your sort of handicapped golfers. So what you've got here with the M1 iron, you've got all those kind of performance benefits, that sort of nice high launch, that forgiveness, that stability, but they've just refined the looks to make it suit the eye of the better player a little bit more. It's got a thinner top line, there's a little bit less offset on there. They've worked hard to kind of get the finish right. It's like a nice satin finish, which is going to suit players a little bit more. So yeah, to me, it's going to have loads of appeal to a 17 handicapper like myself, or higher, right down to your single figure handicappers. If you liked the performance benefits of the M2 but thought it's just a little bit too chunky for me, this is going to be the one for you, the M1 iron. It looks absolutely stunning. Touched a little bit on some of the kind of technology there, but I also have spoken to Tomo Bysted, who is TaylorMade's head designer and sort of R&D guy when it comes to irons. Had a little chat with him earlier. He's going to tell us a little bit more about some of the finer details of the M1 iron. Okay, so M1 iron, this was a product that immediately I found quite interesting because it's something completely new. We've not seen this before.
That's right.
And from feedback that I had and players that I know that hit M2, they thought, I love the performance benefits, I love that high launch, I love the extra distance, but it just looks a little bit like a game improvement club for me, and I want to look at something a little bit better. Is that a factor with the M1, and is that something you guys tried to do to kind of get the same performance benefits of M2, but just have a look that maybe suits the player's eye a little bit more?
Absolutely. The goal with M1 really was to get the performance for M2 in a smaller package.
Yeah.
And we know that golfers out there, whether you're a better player or not, some people like a smaller head. They like a little bit less offset. They like a little bit of a thinner top line. Sometimes, and also obviously for better players, if you're a single-digit handicapper, certainly that's the kind of iron you've been used to looking at. So this is going to be more in that person's taste range, if you will. Now, we have done a lot of things to make it perform very similar to M2, and I think the biggest engineering challenge from us was how do we make a distance iron, a game improvement distance iron, and basically look a lot smaller, And so we've achieved that using a tungsten weighting system in this product. So we use a lot of tungsten weight in the toe, which has enabled us to essentially remove weight in the hosel, in the top line of the club, to really move that CG down low.
Yeah.
That extra weight in the toe also helps us to increase inertia of the head, and that inertia is the MOI, which again helps improve stability on off-center hits. So the forgiveness on this iron plays like a much bigger club, actually. The forgiveness on this is dramatically better than something that typically sized in this way. If you compare this, for example, to M2 Tour, which we have out this year, this will be a more forgiving golf club than that. And really the second part of the sort of intention of this club was really to make it sound great as well. So we have this G-acoustic system in the back, this new badge, these reinforcements along the top line to really stiffen the structure a little bit better. And then we also use a highbrow damper in the cavity. So the sound and feel is very important for this player. We recognize that, and obviously the look as well. But then that player beyond that really wants all the performance of an M2, and it's very close in terms of performance.
Yeah, I mean, on my fitting, I hit both, and I was really sort of like neck and neck. I was sort of like getting like 1.65 with the 7 iron on both clubs, and it was like, you know what, I like that look of M1, and I feel like if I did continue to improve, it might be one that I could kind of grow into and get a little bit more life out of. So is that something that you guys see that with the M1 for someone maybe in my ability level, that if the performance isn't that much different, and if you maybe as you improve are not going to need that quite so much forgiveness to get them to, then maybe the M1 would be one to grow into.
Absolutely, it could be an iron to grow into. It's definitely an iron that's perfect for a sort of a mid-handicap golfer that's an aspirational player that's working on their games. They're playing a lot of golf,
which is pretty much everyone. Everyone wants to get better.
Exactly, and I think also in terms of these small heads, they tend to give a little bit more feedback of impact location, things like that. So again, if you're practicing a lot, and I think again, having said that, it's still a very forgiving club, and I think most golfers would, again, if certainly if you have a set of irons that's more than 5 years old, this is going to be more forgiving than almost anything that was sold back then. So the forgiveness is just so great on these clubs nowadays, and especially with these new M2 and M1 irons with the face slots. You're going to find a lot of playability even in the M1.
Yeah, sure. I think what is clear with the M2 and the M1 irons, I think right from 30 handicap down to your low single figures, there'll be an iron here that you'll like, and you might be a low single figure player. You might want to go to to M2. You just might want to just love that distance and forgiveness. There's no rule.
There's no right or wrong.
Yeah, if you're this handicap, you've got to use this club. So go and try them out. They're available 27th of January in the UK. Look out for any demo days at your club. Speak to your pro, see if you can have a hit. Find out which one's best for you. I really like them both. I really want to say that the M1's going to be one for me because I like to think I might get better and grow into that. So
I think that's the one for you.
I'm going to go with that. Okay. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thanks very much. Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Okay, so just had a nice hit there, with the TaylorMade M1 iron. Tried it out in a couple of different shafts. Probably went through like a proper fitting, with one of the reps there from TaylorMade, and instantly, I did really like this golf club. When I set it down behind the ball, I like the finish. It's just a little bit more sleek and a little bit more refined than what you might get, with the M2. But for me, performance-wise, I was getting pretty much exactly the same performance. I was very consistently getting that 165 yard number with my 7-iron, which is a little bit further than what I would normally expect to hit a 7-iron. So that's a massive plus for me. I can live with a little bit of extra distance on my 7-iron, so that's good. So everything about this club, I think for me as a 17 handicap, I do want to get better. I do I know I've got to work on some swing things, but I'd like to kind of see if I could maybe get down to 12 or say in the next few years. This is an iron that I feel that could help me do that, and if I do get there, then it's got an iron that's still going to work for me if I can reach that level. Whereas with the M2, it's a fantastic club. It's got loads of forgiveness, high launch, extra distance. But if I was going to improve, if I do reach that, if I got my handicap down, it'd probably be a little bit too chunky for me, and that's why I'd like to to move towards the M1. But the M1 was still really forgiving anyway. So at my level, I can live with it. It's not going to not going to hurt me too much on the bad shot. So I can really kind of understand what TaylorMade have done with this M1 iron, because I really do think it is for those players that maybe the sort of mid-teen handicappers, or even sort of like 10 handicappers that like the performance benefits for the M2, but they just thought it's a bit chunky. It's more of your traditional game improvement iron, and I want to kind of aspire to something a little bit better. And what you're going to get with the M1 is you're going to get a nicer finish. You're going to get a little bit of a nicer sort of sound and feel off the face. You're going to get a bit more of a pleasing look at a dress, but you're still going to get some fantastic performance. So let us know what you prefer out of the new M1 and the M2 iron. You might have used the M2 iron before and just think that's just working for me, and there's no way that I'd ever change. Or maybe you're someone that had kind of liked the sound of the M2 but just thought, no, it's too chunky for me. Let us know if the M1 is going to be right up your street. It's definitely right up my street. I could put these in the bag, and I think they'd help me on my road to trying to become a better golfer. I just got to get the practice in and have a few more lessons. But yeah, post your comments below. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.